Hello and welcome to Yoga with Glenn. I'm Glenn. Welcome to your Relax and Recover Yoga Flow. Today I recommend all kinds of props. I'm going to be using blocks, bolster, and a blanket just to make things more comfortable, more relaxing for you. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already. It really helps out a lot. Hop in some comfy clothes, hop on your mat, and let's get started. To begin today, set up your bolster on top of a block on its lowest level or wherever's comfortable for you. I have a blanket folded just at the base of this bolster. Go ahead and sit down on the blanket and just let yourself fall into this bolster. Bring the soles of the feet to touch. Let the knees fall out wide and just rest the arms down by the sides, really opening up the heart space here. And just let the weight of your body sink into the props, into the earth. It's good to take a rest, recover from any physical activity you do from the week, from different yoga flows or anything else. It's good to mix in these recovery, restorative yoga flows. Just inhale, filling the lungs, exhale, letting everything go. As you inhale, filling the belly, moving up, expanding the ribs, and moving up even further. Breathing into the chest, and as you exhale, start from the chest, down to the ribs, down to the belly, and bring the belly button in towards the spine, really forcing all of the air out. You don't have to concentrate on your breath this entire practice, but it's good to get into the habit of taking full breaths, inhaling fully and exhaling fully, getting everything out. Now in restorative yoga, we'll hold these postures for quite a few breaths, maybe 10 to 15 breaths in total. The transitions will be slow. We'll stay low to the ground. If you're in a posture and something just doesn't quite feel right, of course you can adjust or add any props where you see fit. If the setup I'm currently in isn't too comfortable for you, you can change anything you like about it. You can raise the block to the next level. You can take the block out completely, add another blanket, add another pillow or bolster, whatever you need to make these postures comfortable and custom to you. Just a few more breaths to go. Since we're holding these postures for such a long time, it is very important to transition out and into the next posture very slowly. Move very deliberately. That way we don't injure ourselves. Our muscles are going to be very relaxed. Before we begin to transition out of this posture into our next posture, let's take one last breath here. First exhale, let everything go. Really pull that belly button towards the spine, forcing all the air out. And inhale from the belly, ribs, and chest. And exhale. Let everything go. And on your inhale, move the hands under the legs. And slowly grab a hold of each knee. Bring the knees together. Soles of the feet on the ground. And pick a side to roll off of, doesn't matter which side. Slowly roll off of your props and just kind of support yourself onto the side. You don't want to pick yourself up too fast. And when you're ready, move your props off to the side. For this next posture, if you'd like to use a blanket for comfort, you can. But I recommend 2 blocks. So we're going into a supported pigeon pose. So bring your knee up towards your left wrist, and if you're able to, bring the right ankle up to the right wrist. But if this ankle falls down back towards the hip, that's okay. Grab 1 block for your head. If you have another block or a pillow, put it under the left hip if your left knee is forward. And the idea here is to feel very supported. If you want something other than this block under your head, of course you can grab a bolster, pillow, whatever makes you the most comfortable. And just make yourself relaxed on whatever props you have assembled. If you need to adjust anything, you can. If you like to scoot the right ankle closer or further away from you, just to customize the treatment of this posture. If you're here and you don't quite like something or want to change something, feel free to do so. But the idea here is to stretch the left glute, really open up the left hip. And if you're at a place where you're shaking, it's okay. It's just your nervous system telling you this might not be right, but if you focus on your breath, it will be okay. Your body will relax, and the shaking will go away. If you focus on your breath, you may find that you've sunk in to this posture a little bit more. If the bolster or pillow or block or whatever you have just feels too high, you can remove it and replace it with something else. Or if your head will reach the ground now, you can rest your head against the ground. The longer we're in these postures, the more our body will kind of open up to the idea of being in them. It's important to just let yourself be at ease, be relaxed. Relax the expression on the face if you have one, or if you're not quite thinking about it. Just focus on your breath. Fulfilling inhales, easy exhales. Before we begin to transition to the other side, let's take one last breath on this side. So exhale, let everything go. And inhale, fill the belly, the ribs, the chest, and then exhale, let everything go, forcing all of the air out. And on the inhale, begin to slowly bring your wrists under your shoulders. And when you're ready, prop yourself up off of the bolster or block or whatever you had. Scoot the back ankle forward and come into a table posture. Moving your props off to the opposite side, setting up, getting ready for the other side, the right side here in my case. Set yourself up for your pigeon pose. Take this block, slide it under the hip of the forward knee. And if you'd like to have your left ankle really forward and high up towards the left wrist, you may do so, but if that ankle falls back towards the left hip, that's okay too. I'm going to start with a higher support here under my head, but feel free to grab any props that feel good to you. And we'll be here for just a few breaths. Same thing on this side. If your body is shaking, it's okay. Just focus on the breath. Eventually the shaking will go away and your body will settle into this posture. If you like to adjust anything, the position of the right ankle, position of the left ankle, what prop you have under you, feel free to adjust. If you've been focusing on your breath, you may notice any shaking or alarming discomfort might have gone away. If there's still any discomfort you're having, really try focusing in on that breath. If you haven't already, relax the expression on the face. Just be at ease. You may also notice one side feels different than the other, and that's okay. One side may be tighter than the other. That's just from our habits of daily living. As we near the end of this posture here, let's take one last breath before we transition out. So with an exhale, let everything go. And then inhale from the belly, ribs, chest, and then exhale, chest, ribs, belly, letting everything go. And with that next inhale, let's bring the wrists underneath the shoulders. Prop yourself up. Move your props off to the side. And then begin to walk the back ankle forward. And then eventually moving this right leg into a table posture. And then have a seat down on your mat. You can have a slight bend in your legs here, or if you'd like to just straighten them out, that's okay too. But bring a pillow or bolster off to one side, the left side here in my case. Inhale, raise the arms up, and then exhale, take a twist, laying over top of the prop here. Don't have to overdo it with your twists. And if you're able to, leave both hips on the ground. If you need to raise yourself up even more to do so, that's okay. But we're just taking a little twist and supporting. Still breathing. After your next exhale, bring yourself up off of your props. Switch them over to the other side. And then inhale, bring the arms up. And exhale, twist over to the other side. Trying to leave both hips on the ground here. If the left hip or the opposite hip is off the ground, try raising yourself up until it's not. But we won't be in this twist for very long. And after an exhale, as you inhale, bring yourself back up to center. Have a block nearby. You can set all the other props off to the side for now. Set that block down by the knees. And then bring the soles of the feet on the mat. You can scoot forward a little bit if you like. Extend the arms out and then slowly roll down onto the back. And once the head touches the mat, bring the heels towards the hips, about as far as maybe you can touch your fingertips on the back of the heel. And with an inhale, we're going to press off the ground and lift our hips, grabbing that block, and either on the lowest level or the second level, slide it underneath the bottom of the spine, very top of the tailbone. Find that place and gently rest the hips down on the prop. You may continue to hold on to your block if you like, or you can bring the arms down to the side. Heart space is open. And just let the weight of your hips rest onto the block. If you need to adjust the block up or down, just gently press your hips off the ground and adjust. You're finding that place where the bottom of the spine, top of the hips meet, right there at that little intersection. Once you've found that place, just relax and breathe into this posture. This will hopefully release your low back. I find this very, very relaxing. Remember, deep inhales, easy exhales. Sinking further and further into this posture. Just a couple breaths to go. If you need to adjust anything, of course, feel free. And get to a place where you can relax. Let the weight of your hips totally rest on this prop. As we near the end of this posture, before we transition our way out, let's take one last breath. As you exhale, forcing all of the air out, inhale through the belly, ribs expand outward, chest lifts up, and exhale from the chest, the ribs and the belly, forcing all of the air out. And on that inhale, press off of the ground, lifting the hips just barely off the block so you can sneak it out from under you, and then slowly release the hips down to the ground. You can bring the knees sort of in this windshield wiper motion, just to release the low back even more. And eventually come to stillness in the middle. And grab that same block, set it off to your left side, maybe on the lowest setting. Lift your feet off the ground, bring your knees together, and then let your knees fall to the left, resting on the block. If the block's not quite comfortable for you, you can bring your knees all the way down to the ground, or bring the block in between your knees, arms coming out to a T. But if that's not quite comfortable and you want to kind of do a little bit of both, you may do so. Just find whatever's comfortable for you, whatever your body needs. We'll be here for just a couple breaths. On your next exhale, as you inhale, go ahead and grab that block from wherever it is, between your legs, underneath your legs. Float the knees back up to center. If you'd like to scoot your hips over, you may do so, but let your knees fall over to the opposite side. Arms out at a T. And if you'd like that block again, under your knees, in between your knees, wherever's comfortable for you, go ahead and put the block wherever you need it. Feeling the same stretch on the opposite side. And just breathe into this posture. After your next exhale, as you inhale, remove the block, set it off to the side. Float your knees back up to the center, and then rest soles of the feet down on the mat. Roll off to one side. If you need to, let your body slowly catch up. And when you're ready, press yourself up into a seat. And we'll set ourselves up for our last posture. We're going to do legs up the wall. So if you need to move into a space where you have room, feel free to do so. We're going to take a blanket, set it against the wall. Bring your hips next to the wall. Bring your body next to the wall. And then as you roll down onto your back, move your legs up the wall. And I recommend moving back just enough to where your low back sits flat on the ground. The blanket helps with that. But bring the legs together, knees together, ankles together, arms out by the sides, palm facing up. And without bringing any energy to your legs, or your ankles, or your feet, just relax here for a couple breaths. Let everything drain into your upper body. Of course, breathing. If you need to, relax the expression on the face. Just be here at ease. Bring a little bit of energy to the lower body. Let's point the toes to the sky. And then bring the toes down towards the face. Feel the difference there. This changes the treatment in the back of the legs. And some different options we can take here with the legs. We can bring legs out to a V. Or we can cross at the ankles, Shavasana style. Bring the knees towards the wall as well. If you don't like either of those, of course, you can just have your legs straight up the wall. I like to have my toes pointed towards my face just a little bit. Just breathe and relax. And as we breathe here in this legs up the wall posture, take some time and invite some gratitude for your body. Doing this practice is sort of like a thank you to your body. Our bodies do so much for us. It's good to reward ourselves with a relaxing, restorative session. Stretching things we don't normally stretch. Getting into positions we don't normally get into. It's good to work those things in. And before we make our way out of this posture, let's take another breath. The last breath together here. As you exhale, let everything go. Inhale and bring the arms up above the head. Connect with the hands with an inhale. And then exhale. Bring the arms back down to the side. Bend at the knees. Slowly bringing the soles of the feet to the wall. And if you're able to press off the wall, go ahead and press off. Slide yourself away from the wall. And eventually roll over to one side. In that same recovery posture again. And just give your body a second. Give your nervous system a second to catch up. And when you're ready, and only when you're ready, press yourself up into an easy cross-legged seat. If you'd like to use that blanket to sit on, or anything else to sit on. Cross at the ankles, tall spine, open heart, hands on the knees. I hope you found some value in this restorative session today. If you really enjoyed anything in particular, please let me know in the comments below. One last circling the arms up with an inhale. Connect the hands at the top and then exhale, bring the hands down to heart center. The light in me sees the light in you. Namaste.